Welcome to Week 1 of IS 360 Disaster Recovery at Grantham University. This week, we'll be talking about a business continuity plan. The business continuity plan covers all functional areas of a business, and it ensures the entire business can continue to operate in the event of a disruption. It includes a business impact analysis and also addresses other non-technical elements of the event. It's focused on getting the overall business functions back to normal. Here are some key questions your business continuity plan should address. What happens if electrical power is lost? What happens if servers go down? What are the critical business functions to maintain? What must remain intact to conduct business? And what is the risk of being without a business continuity plan? The BCP team includes both business and IT personnel and requires the support of senior management. Initial creation of the plan is treated like a project, using traditional project management techniques. We can break down the development process into these steps. Create BCP scope statements. The scope should consider distributed operations, personnel networks and power, and all aspects of the IT environment. Conduct business impact analysis. The business impact analysis, or BIA, is a subset component of business continuity planning that helps to identify critical and non-critical systems while determining the recovery requirements for those functions. A business impact analysis also assigns consequences and usually a dollar figure to specific disaster scenarios. It will also include estimated recovery times and recovery requirements for such scenarios. The business impact analysis is often used to measure acceptability of the risks of failure against the costs of the recovery solutions. A risk can be determined critical if dictated by law. Risk assessment is the determination of quantitative or qualitative value of risk related to a concrete situation and a recognized threat. Identify countermeasures and controls. We will explore this more when we discuss risk assessment with the technology methods for backups and restores. Develop individual disaster recovery plans, or DRPs, implement training, test and exercise plans, and maintain and update plans. DRP is a function of the IT department and includes the elements necessary to recover from a disaster once one is declared. It involves copying the critical data to media or online and then moving the IT operations off-site to recover if required. It's focused on restoring and recovering IT functions. The BCP should list all the critical components for the system. There are two reasons for including this data. First, it makes it clear which components are needed for the critical business functions. Second, it provides a list that you can use to restore the system from scratch. This list includes any equipment such as servers, switches, and routers. The servers may need to be rebuilt from scratch. Therefore, the BCP should list the operating system and any applications needed to support the system. If an image is used to rebuild servers, it will list the version number. Data can include a database hosted on the system. It can also include any types of files, such as documents or spreadsheets. The list can include any needed supplies. This can be simple office supplies, such as printer paper or toner. For some systems, it can include technical supplies, such as special oils for machinery or tools needed for maintenance. Management support is needed to start the planning process. Your project could fail without a budget and funding approved by senior management. Standard compliance is needed to increase your chances of passing a future audit or an evaluation by a customer. It's important to consider the technologies, data, and staff needed to perform those processes, recovery time objectives, priorities when recovering critical processes and systems, and vital records and other required documentation. You need these procedures developed from the BIA and RA results and to describe how the company will prevent incidents from happening, respond to them if they do occur, mitigate the severity of an incident, and resume business operations as quickly as possible. When an event occurs, a fast, organized response can help protect and minimize damage and reduce incident times. It's important to identify and properly train employees who will serve on incident response, emergency, and damage assessment teams so they can perform their duties quickly and efficiently. It's important to complete the BIA early. Ensure it is done early in the process for the BCP. Without the BIA, you won't know what systems are critical. Exercise caution when returning functionality from alternate locations. When restoring functionality from an alternate location to the primary location, consider these best practices. Restore least critical functions first to the primary location. This allows you to get the bugs out of the process without affecting critical functions. Review and update the BCP regularly. The BCP coordinator should review and update the BCP at least annually. If critical systems are changed or modified between annual reviews, the BCP should be reviewed when those changes or modifications occur. Test all of the individual pieces of the plan. This includes basic procedures such as recalls. And finally, exercise the plan. Verify the plan works by performing test exercises. These exercises should not affect normal operations.